Let us continue with the meaning of Marxism. Marxism is a political and economic way of organizing social or society where the workers are the owners of the means of production. I repeat, Marxism is a political and economic way of organizing society where the workers are owners of the means of production. So M.N. Roy, he was much influenced by Marxism, and then he ran to Mexico, or he fled to Mexico and founded the Socialist Party in December 1917, which was later converted into the Communist Party of Mexico in 1919. This was the first Communist Party formed outside Russia. Then he was invited to the Second World Congress of the Communist International held in Moscow in 1920, and there he prepared a paper called The East, especially India, for Revolution, and formed the Communist Party of India outside the country. This was the first Communist Party of India founded outside India at Tashkent in 1920. Please mark or underline this: the first Communist Party of India founded outside India at Tashkent in 1920. The Indian Communist Party was then formed in September 1924 at Kanpur, followed by an All India Conference of the Communists at Kanpur. This conference was regarded as the formal beginning. This was the conference that was regarded as the formal beginning of the Communist Party of India in December 1925. Please underline these lines, because I wish to tell you while teaching that, boys, this is a chapter where you may be getting objective questions rather than subjective questions. So you have to be very careful as to what are the important things that can be asked in the chapter or from the chapter. And while I teach and tell you that you mark this, you should be very alert and you should mark it. As well as please note down the questions that I dictate while teaching. So let's carry on with the lesson. Now, when this was formed, or the Communist Party of India was formed or formally started, he contacted all his revolutionary colleagues who were confused between radicalism of Jugantar Party and between Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi's novel program. So they were a little bit confused and hesitant to join the first Communist Party or to believe in communism. M.N. Roy had difference of opinion with Stalin. As a result, he was finally expelled from the Comintern in December 1929. We have a chapter on Russia later on in world history where we will be studying about Comintern, an organization, a group of communist countries. When M.N. Roy came back to India, he met Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose. And in April 1937, there was a weekly called Independent India, which appeared and was welcomed by the Congress workers or the leaders, the progressive leaders of the Congress like Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose. And not believing in what Mahatma Gandhi believed in, he became disillusioned with democracy and communism. M.N. Roy was a little confused over the ideals of democracy and communism, and finally he cut off his connections with the Congress and created a new party called as the Radical Democratic Party in 1940, and finally he died in 1954. The next topic or the next leader that we are going to study about is Jawaharlal Nehru. In the 1930s, the socialist ideas were felt within and outside the Congress, and Jawaharlal Nehru was much influenced by these socialist ideas of great Soviet Union and the Bolshevik Revolution of 1917. I repeat that Jawaharlal Nehru was very much influenced by the socialist ideas of Soviet Union, and also how and why the Bolshevik Revolution had taken place in Soviet Union in 1917. In 1927, he visited the Soviet Union and he was really impressed by the economic and social reconstructions that were being made there. So, when he came back to India, he wanted that for all practical purposes, the Congress should turn as a socialist body. And with this idea of his, or with the preaching of these ideas, there was like a young section of the Congress that was very much attracted towards these socialist ideas. The election of Jawaharlal Nehru as the president of the National Congress in 1929, 36 and 37. Please remember these years. This year in ISC they had asked about 1938, who was the president of the INC in 1938. So you have to be familiar with these years and the names of these prominent leaders as to who was the president for a particular year. In 1931, in the Karachi session, Jawaharlal Nehru stated, in order to end the exploitation of the masses, political freedom must include economic freedom too, and stop the starving of millions. He didn't want that Indians should starve. He next demanded the living wages for the workers. These were a few of his demands. Please underline these demands. He demanded living wages for the workers, special taxes on property, state control and ownership of key industries, mineral resources, railways, waterways, shipping and other means of transport. So, I repeat these lines. He demanded living wages for the workers, special taxes on various items like property, industries, mineral resources, railways, waterways, shipping and other means of transport. There were two sessions of the Congress which have a lot of importance. Those are the Lucknow session and the Fazipur sessions of December 1935 and 1936, where Jawaharlal Nehru elaborated his socialist ideas with more clarity. He tried to explain what these ideals or what these socialist ideas meant. The Lucknow session was a landmark in the evolution of socialist ideas and programs of the Congress. It means that the Congress in this session or after this session adopted socialism as their objective or as its objective. So Congress and the Jawaharlal Nehru asked or requested the Congress to accept socialism as its goal and to bring socialism closer, or to bring Congress through socialism closer to the farmers, the peasantry and the working class. The next leader we have is S.C. Bose, Subhash Chandra Bose. We know that he said, complete independence of India, community of interest with laborers and peasants, amelioration of economic conditions of masses, reduction of working hours, a minimum scale of wages, medical leave for full pay, old age pension compensation for infirmity or serious accidents should be ensured. This is what S.C. Bose wanted to be practiced by the government. Amelioration means to make the situation better, to make the economic condition of the people of India better. And how to make it better? By reducing the working hours, by fixing a minimum scale of wages for the workers, to give or to provide medical leave with pay, to give old age pension and compensation to workers in case of any serious accidents. S.C. Bose had the aim of creating an egalitarian society. What do you understand by egalitarian? The principle that everyone should have equal rights. That is what is egalitarian. All the people of India should have equal rights, in which all members would enjoy equal distribution or equal benefits and social status. There would not be any distinction between man and man on account of accident of birth, parentage, caste and creed. That's what he meant by egalitarian society, that all the people of India, no matter who they are, who are their parents, what is their caste, what is their creed, what is their social status, they should be having equal rights. It was under his leadership that the first labor strike in the Tata Iron and Steel Works at Jamshedpur ended in an honorable settlement in 1920. It was S.C. Bose who had worked and who had mediated for a good settlement or an honorable settlement of the workers with the company, that is the Tata Iron and Steel Works at Jamshedpur. And he became the president of the All India Trade Union Congress in 1931. So from all this that we have studied till now, we are coming across the beliefs or the ideals of these two leaders, that they believed in equality in the society, they believed in providing equal rights to the workers, ensuring their privileges. That's what they believed in. He was the president of the All India Trade Union Congress in 1931, and he said that it was the duty of the state to provide employment to its citizens. He stressed on that the government is responsible for providing jobs to its citizens. And in case they fail to do it, they should maintain or help these people who are without jobs. Because the worker citizen would not be at the mercy of the employer, to be thrown out on the streets at the sweet will of the employer and made to starve. That's what he believed. He said that the workers should not be out of jobs. They should be provided jobs by the government. In case they are not provided jobs, they are still unemployed, they should be maintained or helped by the government. It is not that the employer should put the workers out on the street and make them to starve. That is not the right thing. He also emphasized on industrialization of India and planned economic growth on the Soviet pattern. He was also very much influenced by the social ideals. So he said that there should be large-scale industrialization in India where more and more people would get jobs. And our system should be planned in such a way that there is economic growth on the basis of socialist pattern. Both Nehru, Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose had socialist leaning. We have already studied that S.C. Bose was influenced by Jawaharlal Nehru. Jawaharlal Nehru had visited Soviet Union, so he was also influenced by the socialist views and ideals of Soviet Russia and the Bolshevik Revolution of 1917. Both Nehru and S.C. Bose had socialist leaning and had a large number of followers who had already been calling themselves as leftist Congress. Now, leftist congressmen means that a part or a group of the party or a particular group, they believe in more reforms for the betterment of the people, whereas the rest do not believe. So that is the left wing. Subhash's attempt to seek re-election to the Congress presidentship in 1939, if you remember that, first in 1938 he became the president of the Congress, and then in 1939 he again contested the elections to become the president, and this left wing or the young men of the Congress or the young members of the Congress who were in favor of socialist ideas very much supported S.C. Bose, and he was elected a second time as the president of the Indian National Congress. So there was Congress divided into two wings, the leftist and the rightist camp. I I've already told you the meaning of the leftist wing is a group of the members of a party who believed in more reforms, more social changes, and the rest did not believe. So there were two groups, and socialism had already made its power felt. You could feel that Congress had socialism dominating its working. The younger section lost faith in the non-violent program of Mahatma Gandhi. They were not getting any results out of the non-violent program, so they felt that aggressive or forceful actions were required, and that could only be given by the leadership of Subhash Chandra Bose, and that's how they supported Subhash Chandra Bose. Now you can note down a question as to why did Bose resign from the Indian National Congress. If you remember class 10 history, you know that there were two candidates. One was S.C. Bose and the other was Mahatma Gandhi's candidate Sita Rimaya, and he lost the elections, if you remember, and the working committee of the Congress had resigned, and then S.C. Bose was asked to appoint the next working committee as per the wishes of Mahatma Gandhi. At this point, S.C. Bose felt that he was a puppet president of the Congress, and so he resigned from the presidentship of the Congress. We know that. And then in 1934, the National Congress, or the Working Committee of the National Congress, condemned the radical program of the socialist, and Jawaharlal Nehru was little hesitant at this point, and he was intellectually inclined towards socialism, but he was sympathetic towards this group which had not joined socialism. So his personal and political attachment to Mahatma Gandhi prevailed over his intellectual attachment. That's why intellectual attachment was socialism, and his personal attachment was towards Mahatma Gandhi, who did not believe in large-scale industrialization, or Gandhiji was not very much inclined towards socialism, and he was more for non-violent programs. So Jawaharlal Nehru's personal loyalty towards Gandhiji would be evident again and again throughout 1930s. When Subhash Chandra Bose was finally expelled from the Congress after the Tripura rift, he formed a new party within the Congress, and that was called as the Forward Bloc. This party was formed in 1939 with his left-wing followers. He wanted to keep Forward Bloc as a platform for all those people who felt or who thought alike. They were like-minded people, like-minded parties, and to enlist the support of the communists and the socialists. That's why he formed this Forward Bloc. But the Congress socialists wanted to keep unity with the Congress, National Congress. Subhash Chandra Bose realized that without an organized and disciplined left wing, it was impossible to fight against the Gandhi wing. So let us do the two differences. Or first do you note down what is the next possible question that can be asked in ISC. Write down, boys. Why was Bose expelled from the Congress? What was the name of the party Subhash Chandra Bose founded or formed? I repeat the two questions. Why was Bose expelled from the Congress? And what was the name of the new party formed by Subhash Chandra Bose? Let us do the two differences between the Congress Socialist and the Communist. The Congress Socialist owed their allegiance to the National Congress. The Socialists believed in class struggle and wanted that capitalism, zamindari system, and the princely states should be abolished. The Communists expressed their allegiance to the Communist International. They believed in an international communist society. So today we stop here, or in this class we just stop at this point, and we will have a next class on trade union activities. For the time being, boys, you can look at the back questions in the lesson or after the lesson, and whichever topics you have done, please do those questions in your notebooks, and when we meet in the school, we shall look at those answers. So for all the best for the time being.